Gracie and I are at the coal mines this morning, a very foggy day. This path comes down from the main settlement and it comes past the surgeon's quarters there and heads down to where the long wharf was. And what we're having a look at today is the ruins of this stone building that's down here. This is probably the most southerly structure on the settlement. I'd like to say Gracie's sitting on the fireplace, but I cannot find a fireplace here. I'll get to that a little bit later. Now my boundary on this side is about 6 metres, and then I'm going down this side with a string line of about 3.1. Now I don't have a lot to work on here, but I do have some sandstone blocks in some type of row there. Come down to here, nothing at all, until I get to this corner here, and these blocks here seem to line up as if they're original. Now these blocks here have been pushed out from the building, so they don't form any shape. Now if I come down to here, and I've got 2 pieces of sandstone. This longer piece of sandstone here you tend to find normally above a door or a window, and then this one here I can see a depression in the sandstone, and that's normally where a door jamb is. So one could maybe suggest that there was a doorway around this area here, and if this is halfway point there may have been a doorway there. Now, following a string line along here, under this fallen log, there's a couple of more pieces of sandstone. I can just feel a little bit under there, but after the recent incursion with the bull ants, I'm a bit hesitant to go in any further. So let's make the corner there. I come up to here, I've got a flat piece of sandstone, and 2 more pieces which seem to be out of place. With that one there's obviously been pushed over. I've got 1 piece here, and then I come back to my original eastern corner here. Now where Gracie's patiently waiting in here, I've got some bits of sandstone which have some shape to them. I've got a large flat piece here. I've got this L-curve shape there, which is normally with a window, and another shaped one there. What we don't have are bricks. I've got the amount of bricks here I can count on one hand, which is extremely unusual for these cottages. So maybe this was all built of stone, and there weren't any bricks involved. If I go up about 50 metres that way, there's some bricks on the ground, but they don't seem to be related to this. They seem to be separate altogether. Now I've found a little relic here. Looks like a piece of crockery from a cup which has some writing on it. You may want to have a look at that and try to decipher what it is. It's a little bit confusing after you have a look at it for a while. I can see Soho and maybe Majesty and maybe the end of the word theatre, but when you have a close look it doesn't quite make sense. So I'll put that up now for you to have a look. Now, as to who resided at this cottage, I'm going to go across to the surgeon's cottage, and I'll give you a bit of a story there that I think may have been going on here. Now, Gracie and I are at the doorway of the surgeon's cottage, and we're going to try to put together something from what we do know in regards to that stone building over there. So the surgeon's quarters was built around 1837, and it had an outhouse over there, which may have been the kitchen toilet area, very close to the building. Before 1841, the surgeon used to come from Port Arthur when someone was sick, or the sick people were taken from here over to Port Arthur, and some even died on the way. But anyway, in July 1841, Robert Irwin was appointed as an assistant surgeon, and he was basically a first aid man, and he resided here. And on this other side of this building, in the building, same building, there would have been the Anglican priest who resided here as well until his house was built up on the hill. We have an old map of 1842 of the area, and it shows quite clearly the surgeon quarters and the outhouse over there, but it doesn't show that stone ruins where we just come from. So we know those stone ruins were built after 1842. Now in July 1843, a J. Motherwell was appointed full-time medical officer here, and medical officer had a horse, and I expect a buggy, and they would have needed somewhere for that horse to be permanently stabled when he was down here. Now if I walk out of the surgeon's cottage and walk across here to the stone ruins, about 20 steps and I'm at this building. Now, as I said before, the 1842 map shows nothing at all here except a large garden and a pathway approximately where the path is now, and the Coxswain and Clerk's cottage, which is probably about 75 metres away from the surgeon's cottage. So this now termed the medic officer who came here, Motherwell, instead of being termed called a surgeon, he was now called a medical officer. He was probably decided that this spot here, within the garden, on the other side of the path, away from the other cottage, would be a perfect spot to have his stable for the horse. Now we have a bit of a record from about 1860, I think it is, that describes some of the buildings down here, and one of those buildings called it the medical officer's quarters and stable. So I'm putting all that together, and combined with the fact, or not fact, I can't find a fireplace at all, which is extremely unusual for all these cottages. You wouldn't need a fireplace in a stable. I'm calling this place the medical officer's stable. So the size of it would be quite comfortable to have a horse and a buggy. I don't know, maybe 2 horses, but to me, with the lack of fireplace and no other record of a building being down here, I'll put this together and just call it the medical officer's stable at the coal mines.